Hello and happy Monday. I'm here with our Monday meetup. My name is Araya Anra, and I am a psychic medium. I am an energy healer and a coach, and I help people essentially find clarity and move through stuff. And I'm a firm believer that a moment of clarity can change everything. Hi, Cindy. Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just talking today and hello bit about following your heart even when it's really scary to or super painful to, and just introducing myself. So nice to see you guys online, and for those that are gonna catch the replay later, hope this hits home. This popped in this week. I have a good friend whose daughter actually just broke off an engagement. She was having weird feelings inside, her gut instinct telling her it was the wrong thing. And you know how hard it is once you're in a setup like that, where maybe it's not an engagement or a wedding that you're planning, but maybe it's a big event or a project or a contract that you've signed and you're in, and now you're having remorse or feeling like, oh, this really wasn't the best thing to do. And we go into our fears, we go into not wanting to hurt other people, we go into not wanting to backtrack and get out of all the arrangements and the plans. You know, maybe it's really close and all the invitations are out, all the gifts have already been sent to you, or the dresses, the tuxedos, and specifically talking about like a wedding event right now. But how do we move forward and know whether it's jitters, whether it's cold feet, whether it's really the right thing? And you can only listen to your heart. You have to stop and tune into your heart. And I know from personal experience, I actually went through a wedding ceremony just over 20 years ago that ended up being a great learning experience for me in my life. But I was one of those that didn't want to back out at the last minute. I knew there was something wrong. I knew there was something not aligned. And my heart was saying, a little too late to maybe feel like I could get out of it. But I actually was married over in Hawaii. And so not only did I have my own stuff to try and backtrack on, but everybody had plane tickets, all the guests that were coming and all my family that was coming, all the condominiums were paid for. And so there was a lot of pressure on me or self-imposed probably. We'll never know looking back how my family would have responded, but I know that they probably would have been really open-armed and saying, if it's not the right thing, don't do it. And I know that that's where this young gal is in her life, and feeling like, oh my goodness, I'm not feeling right about this. And even if it is the right thing, if you're not feeling right in the moment, if it's right, it'll be put off and it'll still come to fruition. But stepping through those fears of displeasing anybody else when it has to do with your life and your future is really huge. And I know that I ended up being married for 1.5 years before I finally said, you know, I knew this was wrong right before we actually did it, and now we're both paying the price. And we ended up, you know, going through a lot more pain and suffering than I would have if I had just really had the courage to step up in the beginning. So I'm just here to be that little voice. Maybe I'm feeling like it had to be brought up today, and maybe there's some people going to catch the replay that have someone in their life going through that, and that this message can help them to tune in. And I am going to pull some cards today from my angel decks for this, because I feel like there's some people out there that are going to tune in that are in a place of a decision or have a person in their life that they want to help answer their own question and get clarity on. And you know, maybe you need help. Maybe you need that clarity. Maybe we need to get together and do a session and use my psychic skills to hone in on what's emotionally going on. Hello, Wycliffe. Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. And so just following. How do you follow your heart? How do you hear what your heart is saying? And not know that it's, you know, my mind getting in the way, or I'm just getting scared and getting backed off, and this just feels too big and I'm in resistance. And sometimes those are things that happen, because when we dive into something big, I know going into big programs, whether I'm leading them or taking them, brand new courses, any brand new direction in life, there's always going to be those jitters and that resistance that comes up. And the resistance is just our fears and our internal barometer saying, okay, pay attention to where the resistance is in your body. And that's really one of the keys. Stop, breathe into it, and feel Where in your body is the resistance happening? Where is it coming? Is it holding in my gut? Is it just a ball of fear that I need to breathe through, and then I can get calm and breathe and get the mental clarity that comes? Is it in my heart? Is it just pinching and feel? And when you feel it in your heart, there's usually a really good reason why. So if you need help to tune into that, please reach out and message me. I'd be happy to get on the phone and see if we're a good fit energetically to work together. I always do that before a first session. And, just stop, breathe, tune into where it is in the body, and then distract yourself. Take yourself out to get a massage, go get a treat, go get a bite to eat, or something to take you fully out of the situation so that you can get your mind off of it. And usually when I do that and I can sleep well that night, something happens in my dream space, because I usually set a prayer of intention, and this is really another powerful tool, before I go to bed. And set a prayer of intention that my angels and guides will step up and help me see what it is. What is this? Is this something that's really telling me this is the wrong direction? Or is it just something that's giving me a little warning sign of some growth coming? Because when it's resistance, and it's really the best path for us, all that resistance is just our soul knowing that there's growth and change coming. And that's positive for our life. But if we know in our heart that it feels like more than that, it feels like just an absolute wrong decision, then we have to have the courage to step in and say, okay, I'm going to listen to myself. And I'm going to back out of this. I'm going to just say to all parties involved with love and humility, this isn't the right direction for me, at least not right now. And anybody who's really on board with you, anything that you're really involved in, if it's meant to stick with you, it will. Especially if it's a partner. And you have the rest of your life, a long time, to make that align. So don't want to be on a soapbox here. I'm just sharing from my heart because I went through it. I went through this. I ended up bringing more pain to both of us by waiting 1.5 years to actually know my truth and to speak it. And spent 1.5 years in, not a lot of joy, not a lot of what we had hoped would be the right direction for us. And so always wanting to assist and avoid pain. So anyway, let's do a card reading, because I just feel like when you're tuning in, you're going to have an answer come for you. So I'm going to start with the straight up angel answers. These are, this is a deck that I use when it's just a simple yes or no, or maybe you need to wait a little while. And this can be just a really straightforward way to get an answer. So let's tune in and see what we have. And the question I'd like to hold is for those either on the call right now, maybe you're going through something, Wycliffe, I see you there, and Bit. Let's hold it in our heart for everybody that's also on the replay, that if they're going through a situation in their life right now that they are feeling is in alignment with their heart, that they're feeling something else come in and they're just too afraid to stand up and say, we're going to put this on hold, or we're going to reverse it altogether, change direction completely, that this will help them have the answer they need. So feeling into my deck. Feels like it's way down here. And so for those of you with that question in your heart, what's coming? There's something better. So you're on the right track. That little niggling voice is telling you something truly. There is something better aligned for you. Whether it's a new course you're signing up for, whether it's a big deal like a wedding or a new business contract, new job contract, whatever the case may be for you, the cards here today for those that are watching and listening to this are that there's something better. And I'm going to go ahead, because I love my Archangel Power deck, and it sometimes gives us a little more insight into that, what that would mean for you today. So I'm going to just grab my Archangel Power deck and tune into the card that's calling for everybody involved with this. So the situation they're currently in that's niggling at their heart doesn't feel perfectly aligned, that we would find an answer right now for them, and it feels like it's right here. And the Queen of Michael, brilliant, self-reliant, insightful, and humorous. You know exactly what to do. The benefit of experience, a time for your career rather than relationships. So whatever the specific situation you're in right now, the first answer said there is something better, and part of you knows that already, that you're brilliant, self-reliant, insightful, and humorous. You have the insight. And maybe humor is the best way to shift gears. If you can find a way to lighten it up when you share with whoever else is involved what your new direction needs to be aligned with your truth, then try and make light. Try and bring humor into it to help shift the situation and the energy around it. And maybe your fears of it. Maybe you just need to make yourself laugh to get over the fear and have the courage to stand up and take the new direction. But yes, you know exactly what to do. And the benefit experience feels like most of the people that this is applying to have the benefit experience in their back pocket. That you've been down this road before, and now this time you have a little bit more clarity about what your inner voice is really saying to you. So I encourage you to listen to it. And if it's about relationships, career is leaning first in this card, and whatever that might mean for you. Career might be in a direction for schooling or classes that you're thinking about as well that might lead to a new career for you. So I hope that was helpful. I do it with all love, knowing that somebody needed to hear that today. So I hope it reaches the right ears. I send that out to my guides and guardians to make the paths cross. And if you have any desire at all to work together, please message or email me, araya@invokehealing.com, or through Instant Messenger, through Facebook. I would love to get on the phone and see if we could bring new light or clarity to your situation and make some shift happen for you. Also still taking applications for the Way the Dragonheart program, if that interests you at all. I am currently in the launch of a 9-month program starting March 21st for 9 souls who actually experience and work with dragons and want a deeper connection to that, because that is a really big piece of me and what I do as well. And so if that is of interest to you at all, or you're curious about it, check out the For the Love of Dragons group in Facebook. There's lots of information on it in there, or you can message me as well, and I will get back to you by email with some information. So have a wonderful Monday. We here are getting some snow. We've got the snowy white stuff coming down. We're actually finally having winter, because it's felt like spring all through January and most of February. So wherever you are in the world, sending you lots of love and lots of desire for guidance in your life, and a wish that you are able to listen to and hear your heart. See you next Monday. Bye.